This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive, everybody. Joining us now, the head coach of the Amarillo High Sandies baseball team, Coach Randon Johnson. Coach Johnson, thanks so much for taking the time and coming on the show.
Hey, Jay, thanks for having me. It's always a great pleasure to be here.
Well, Coach Johnson, I just want to talk to you about, obviously, heading into the postseason, fun time of year for you guys, getting to have that bi-district round matchup with Monterey. Just talk to me first just about what the expectations are heading into this series and what it's going to take for you guys to come out on top.
Well, you know, everybody talks about the three parts of the season, you know, your preseason and scrimmage time, and then you get into district, and now we're to the part where, you know, it's the fun part of the season, like you said, but it's also win or go home. So there's a lot on the table. There's a lot at stake, but we're excited about a chance to go out there and kind of play a team that we've been in the district with before, and somebody that's kind of been a natural rival for many, many years and throughout our history, but all of a sudden meeting up in the playoffs this year. So it's a good time to go out there and, you know, these guys show off what they can do.
What kind of is challenging about Monterey as an opponent? What do they do well, and what are you guys going to have to prepare for going into tomorrow's action?
Yeah, we're talking about a group that's, man, they are senior heavy. These guys have been around. They made a pretty deep run last year in the playoffs and ran into, you know, a district opponent before they were knocked out. They're a district is really deep, and so they've been playing some really meaningful games for the last month or so. And so, you know, being able to, you know, go out there with our guys that are seniors as well, and some of our young guys, to be able to kind of nullify some of that experience they have, and then be able to make the plays when we need to will be a big part of this weekend.
Obviously, for you guys this season, you know, you guys able to claim the district title, going to playoffs, kind of on feeling good about where the team's at. When you just go through down the roster, I mean, some of the obviously, you know, big names that have been great for you guys. When you go through, you know, Max McLemore, Will Flaming, Payne Williams, just what stood out about this year's group of team that you feel like has allowed them to be so successful?
Yeah, you're really talking about, you know, the heart of this team is our seniors. We do have some younger guys that play a real big part in this deal, but you know, you started out with our lineup right there. You know, Max is leading off for us and getting started, playing center field and doing a lot of different things for us. He played our last district game at first base. He's a versatile guy. He come on the mound and throw as well, and somebody that we're counting on. Will Flaming, you know, is just that guy. He makes things happen, and he gets going with the bat. He gets on base. It's really good. But you know, keep working down the line to Colton Flores, who plays first base for us. Really, I would say, the heart of the team in a lot of ways, from his toughness to his personality. And then Rylan Leathers comes behind him. Noah Markert out there in right field, one of the best defensive outfielders in the area, and I think in the state. Garrett Robertson, who just quietly goes about his business and it's one tough out in the 9-hole. And you're talking about defensively and offensively, seniors just carrying us up and down the lineup. And then you get Big Payne on the mound, and he gets going, and man, he's got great stuff. He's got a real even keel demeanor, and allows him to go out there and just kind of work through the situation. And every time he's on the mound, we got a chance to win.
How would you kind of assess the team's, you know, confidence going into the postseason? You know, after an undefeated district season, you know, I imagine, you know, there's just kind of big goals, big expectations that you guys have set for what you want to accomplish this year. Where do you think they're at, kind of mentally, in terms of what the approach is, what the mindset is going into the postseason?
Well, you know, doing this enough years, I figured out that, you know, this time of the year, it's really about how much these guys want to keep playing. There's a lot of things going on this spring. There's a lot of things on campus, a lot of distractions, if you let them be distractions, you know, and playing baseball this time of year and playing all the way up to graduation and past graduation. Man, it's a fun time, but it's really challenging too, especially for these guys that are kind of being pulled in a lot of different directions. And so I usually gauge that off of how much do these guys act like they want to be at the park? What do they like when they show up every day? Are they coming in? Are they getting stuff done? Are they getting the field ready to go? Or are they kind of dragging in and, look like they're just here to be here? And I tell you what, this group every day shows up early. Man, they get out here. They're excited to be at the field. And I think they love playing baseball with their friends and their brothers. And so, you need a little help in the playoffs. You need a little luck. You need things to bounce your way a little bit. But I tell you what, I think this group's got a recipe to really do something special.
I'm curious to know, too, you mentioned the non-district schedule there. How tough is it to schedule these, Lubbock schools during the course of the non-district schedule? Is that kind of present kind of a challenge, knowing that, hey, we might play each other in the playoffs, we might face off against each other come postseason time, so maybe we don't want to play a game in the non-district season to, give you a look at our pitchers, give your, hitters a chance to see what kind of stuff we have, get comfortable facing off against us. Is that something that over the past couple of years has been difficult because, the playoffs are set up the way they are, that you guys are likely to meet at least one of those schools, if not two of them, over the course of the early part of the postseason?
Yeah, there's a limited amount of teams. We don't really have any 6A teams around this area anymore, and Friendship's as close as you get, and they're full on their games. And so, we play. The majority of our games are tournament and district. There's very few times that we have an opportunity to get any of those other games in. And then it comes down to where do you go for your tournaments? Do you stay around and you just we all play the same teams, or do you get out and go different directions? And we've had the ability to kind of travel around the state. We've gone to Round Rocks for the first weekend of the season the last 4 or 5 years. Consequently, Monterey was down there. We all stayed in the same hotel, so we got to ride up and down the elevator and eat breakfast together. And so these guys know each other, and they play a lot of summer games, either with each other or against each other. And so you can't totally avoid each other, but on the other end, we're all out there trying to do our thing. And if you got any secrets, you try to keep them, hold them tight to the vest. But at the end of the day, you got to go out there and perform in the moment. So I don't know that I've been able to chance to see them play a couple times this year. They came up and watched us when we were in Plainview. And so, we'll have a good idea of what each other has, but also me looking for our chance to really make an impact out there too.
All right, well, Coach Johnson, thanks so much for joining us once again. Game 1 tomorrow down in Lubbock, and then Game 2 and Game 3, if necessary, Saturday in Amarillo at Sandy Field. So, Coach Johnson, thanks so much for joining us. If people want to audio stream those games, they will be on tpsnsports.com, the audio broadcast of those if they want to listen along on the Sandys. Coach Johnson, thanks once again for taking the time. Best of luck, and we'll hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir. And you guys come out 1 o'clock on Saturday. Come out to Sandy Field. We can't wait to see you.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Coach Johnson. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive after the break.